Today we celebrate the feast of Saint Norbert. He started out as a frivolous and worldly cleric, but by God's grace changed into a powerful preacher. He's the founder of the Norbertines. Born in 1075 in Germany, he belonged to a high-ranking family and when he was young showed quite a bit of intelligence and sophistication, which marked him out as a contender for high offices in the church. None of this, however, was a guarantee of a holy life. As a matter of fact, his gifts would prove a source of temptation even after he joined the ranks of the clergy. He was ordained as a subdeacon and enrolled with a group of clerics in his town before moving on to an appointment with the powerful Archbishop of Cologne. He went to serve the German Emperor Henry V in a position which involved distribution of aid to the poor. However, he still didn't display any real piety or personal seriousness about being holy. But then he had a brush with death. While riding on horseback, he was caught in a storm and nearly killed by a lightning bolt. And that threw him off his horse, and he was there on the ground, unconscious for some time. I guess it made an impression on him because at the age of 35, after much prayer and discernment in a monastery, he heard God calling him to the priesthood. So he converted to the ideals of the gospel and was now set against the worldly attitude that he once had embodied. But guess what? Being devoted to God made him unpopular with the local clerics who responded with insults and condemnation. However, he didn't care, gave all his wealth to the poor, walked around barefoot, and begged pilgrims who possessed nothing for the means to celebrate Mass. Pope Gelasius gave him permission to live as an itinerant preacher, and he was asked to found a religious order so that others might live after his example. So he formed a small group of disciples, and they lived more or less according to the rule of St. Augustine, and in 1121 were established as canons regula of Premontre, and that's why they're sometimes called premonstratensians. Their founder also established a women's branch of the order before returning to Germany. He founded a lay branch also, the Third Order of St. Norbert. He avoided an earlier attempt to become Bishop of Würzburg, but eventually was chosen to become the Archbishop of Magdeburg in Germany. The archdiocese was in serious moral and financial trouble, and he worked hard to reform it. He was partly successful, though not all the way. He was also the target of 3 failed assassination attempts because people don't like to be changed. When a dispute arose over the papal succession in 1130, Norbert traveled to Rome to support the legitimate Pope Innocent II. Afterwards, he returned to Germany to become an advisor to the emperor. He seems to have come full circle. His conversion has accompanied the previous emperor. He died trying to carry out his reforms, but people don't want to change, but he changed. He gave his entire life up for God. So there you go, St. Norbert, the saint for D-Day. We also remember all our people who died trying to provide freedom from us, so that freedom might be used for the glory of God and not for some of the things that we do today. God bless you. Let us all be holy as St. Norbert and Christ were holy.